My coworkers have been investigating the Mike Madigan corruption story since before even the FBI. Now that he's going to jail, I got to talk to someone who saw Madigan's reign from the inside and elegized it in a folk song.
I watched it from the gallery, a nervous rookie staffer.
This was back in 2015, at the height of the budget standoff between Madigan and Bruce Rauner.
The first job Mac Hoffmann got out of law school was at the Illinois State House.
I came in there very much idealistic, and as many people do, excited to make a difference, work on important legislation.
But when the initial glamour wore off, Hoffmann noticed some aspects of his new world were over his head.
I was a political insider by the average citizen's definition, but despite being an insider, I was still very much an outsider. There was a certain degree of using loyalty and silence to control people. A lot of it was fear-based.
What Hoffmann sensed without fully comprehending would become front-page news a decade later: how Speaker Mike Madigan had been trading political favors for money and power. For Hoffmann, that environment had life-altering consequences.
I was totally burnt out by the second session. I was self-medicating with alcohol, and I just needed to take a break. I entered treatment immediately after my second session, just kind of rebuilt, got used to life in a quieter city, sober and stable.
Hoffmann moved back to the Twin Cities where he grew up, and rarely thought about his time under the dome until February of 2025.
I'd been writing about other things. I write about like romantic tension and absurdity. When I heard about that conviction, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a stab at something political.
I never saw him break a law, but so much when I say so much.
The staffer inside of the song that eventually gets chewed up and spit out, that was very autobiographical. That was just a cinematic time in my life. It was like something straight out of a movie.
Hoffmann says he's glad to be out of that world, but when asked about the future of Illinois, he considers himself a realist. Madigan
Being convicted is a very significant moment in Chicago and Illinois political history, but I've got to believe that, power reconfigures itself after that. The machinery still will reconfigure and evolve and exist in some capacity, and that's just the nature of how government works. I think that art often is more to raise the question than necessarily propose the answer.
But they still parade on St. Patty's Day, and they still dye the river green.